So hi again today. What I'm going to show you is my amps and guitar effects. This is a raw recording, so no editing, no any form of editing in here. If it looks if it's cringy, I don't care. So let's start with the amp. So this is the first one we're gonna talk about. It's a Marshall AVT 100 Advanced Valve State Technology. So it's a valve state amp. Yes, I know. Other people hates it because it's a bad amp. They say so. I mean, for me, it does what it does. It's an amp. I know this is the first amp I've used because, as I said, my father is a guitar player back then. I mean, till now, he plays guitar and he has accumulated a lot of gear already. But I mean, most of them are sold, but a few stays. So yeah, a Marshall AVT 100. It's a 100-watt amp. I mean, as my first amp. I mean, it's not my personal amp. I'm gonna talk about the personal amp. Meanwhile, I mean, this was very loud and yeah. I mean, the settings I used in here. I mean, I had drastic. My tone has drastically changed from time to time. So what my main tone here? This is the gain is at 11 o'clock. Um, my volume is quarter to 12. Um, wait, I don't know if my. I mean, it's near to 12. Then my bass is max, middle, 1 o'clock, treble, 4 o'clock. Then my presence is at 2 o'clock. I don't really use the overdrive channels of this anymore, which we'll talk about later. So this is my clean tone. So yeah, that's my clean tone. So let's start with the pedal. So let's start with the first thing in a tune. It's a Moskai, I don't know how it's pronounced. It's a buffer. What it does is it tries to get the original tone that you get once you plug your cable the cable that comes from the guitar to the amp straight to the amp. It tries to get that tone because it sounds better, of course, if it's straight to the amp without effects. So it somehow tries its best to do the thing, but this case, it's okay. It does it somehow does, but it's fine. I can live without it. Then next is a tuner pedal. It's a Coco tuner pedal. Um, yeah, it does what it does. It's kind of rough. Yeah, that's what it does. By the way, a note here is the most type buffer. It has an issue once you click, especially the tuner pedal, since it's after it. I mean, it's after the buffer. What it does is a popping sound, which is annoying. I mean, the pop comes from the. I mean, of course, there's a click sound once you click a pedal, but there's another click sound that comes from the speaker of the amp, which is annoying. So yeah. And this one, a Boss Compression Sustainer CS3, it's a compressor pedal. My original intention for it is, I wanted to play If I Sit Still, If I Sit Still, maybe I'll Get Out of Here. I forgot that's the title of the song by This Town Needs Guns or TTNG. I made a guitar cover of it and I posted it on Facebook only, not on YouTube or even Instagram, no. So yeah, I used it so just to balance the tapping sound and the fingerstyle sound with it. But now what I do with it, since I don't do those style of music anymore, I use it for the funky stuff. So I'll show you how it sounds. take note, if ever the pedals doesn't sound right to you, it's because my amp doesn't sound, it doesn't accommodate with the pedals really well. So yeah. And next thing is my Dunlop Crybaby GCB95. It's the most generic wah-wah. I'll show you how it sounds. Out of tune again. So yeah, back to it. Next thing is the Joyo Vintage Overdrive. Tube Screamer style overdrive. Show you. So yeah. So yeah, you know how Tube Screamer sounds, then that's how it sounds. Then next is the Proco Rat. It's a distortion pedal. It can do overdrive sounds, distortion sounds, and fuzz sounds in one pedal. Although there's no switch that does overdrive only, fuzz only, distortion only. No, it depends on the gain you have. If it's low gain, then it's an overdrive setting, and if it's max gain, it's a fuzz. Then, I mean, for me, it's just distortion. Then, yeah. You might ask, what guitar am I using? I'm using this Sportscaster Tully. So, yeah. Next thing is the Boss BF2 flanger. This flanger it's my favorite one. It just sounds great. I'll show you how it sounds. That's the jet plane sound that I really love. I mean, this is the clean one, like without the other pedals. I mean, as I said, it doesn't the pedals. Most of the pedals here doesn't accommodate well with the amp. So, I mean, I'm really looking forward to get a new amp. So, yeah. Stop talking about that. Then next is the Boss Chorus Ensemble CE5. It does chorus tones as usual. I mean, there's two versions of the CE5. There is the analog one and there's the digital one. The digital one is made 2001 onwards. Then the analog one is prior to 2001. I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I wanted a better chorus, but this one works for a moment. So I'll show you how it sounds. Boss DD3 digital delay. It does delay sounds as usual. So yeah. So yeah, that's what it does. But I just want to warn you. This is an updated one since I haven't made videos for a long time due to school stuff. Um, During my school days, I mean, I still play guitar a lot, but not make videos. I barely had the motivation to. And plus, I just had a new phone now because I didn't have a phone for like a lot of for a few months because my phone broke, and now I have my phone that I'm recording. So like, you know, during those school days and the times I don't have a phone, I've accumulated all these four boss pedals. I mean, I've known, which is a blessing for me. My first time to, I mean, for my personal pedal, because the rat and the wah wah is my father's pedals. I'm just using it. Although he uses the whole setup too, but yeah, the rat and the wah wah is his personal pedals. Um, yeah, I mean, for me, it's a huge move having foreign boss pedals in less than a year. It's cool. You know, I'm only using cheap pedals for a long time. Yeah, now I'm gonna show you the others that I have. Excuse me. Let's start with my mini pedals. So, start with this, the Moore Triangle Buff Fuzz. It's a muff clone, big muff clone. Does what it does. I mostly use it if I want to play Smashing Pumpkins or stoner rock songs. That's it. And next thing it sorry for that long interruption. Um Next thing is the Rowan Noise Gate. This is my very recent ac- ac- acquisition. I mean, it's a noise gate. Does what it does. Eliminates the unpleasant noise especially when the compressor is on, the overdrive and the distortion is on at the same time. It eliminates those noise somehow. Just adjust the um adjust the threshold. One, I mean, I know because of the lighting, the the label's not that it's not that seen. Sorry, the grammar's bad. And it has hard and soft clipping, so if you want the heavy noise gating sound, then go hard, and if you want the okay one, just go soft. That's it. Then last and the worst with the mini pedals. This is the time I really got disappointed with cheap pedals. This one, it's a Moore Shimverb. The reverb does what it does. It's a good reverb, but the problem is when I click the pedal in the middle of a jam, it does a volume drop in a few milliseconds, then the thing goes back. Then at the same time, another problem is when I'm strumming, I mean, even just licks, even if I do licks, dude, it's really annoying. The fact that um, what do you call this? The fact that there's a crackling sound when I use it. Like, I don't like it. It's very disappointing. I don't know what to do with it. Okay, so yeah, I'll see. Next thing. So this is my Joyo analog delay. This formerly was one of the long stays in my pedal setup along with the vintage overdrive. Before I got the Boss one, this is my long stay also. It's a yeah, it's a delay. You know, it does what I did earlier with the Boss thing, but of course it sounds more warmer since it's analog. It's like I'm not sure, but it seems like it's a carbon copy clone, carbon copy by MXR. Yeah, it does what it does. One of my favorite ones, as you can see, the paint has somehow, I don't know if you could see it, but it has aged in a weird way. But that's not the bother anymore. Next thing is the K-Line Tantrum Heavy Metal Distortion, which is it was formerly a long stay too till I got the rat fix. In like the early days of the quarantine, I got it fixed, and I got it. This was in my board for a year and a half because I started having a pedal set up like a decent like the start of my guitar playing. There was the pedals were there already, like this one and the rat. Although the rat got broken for some reason, and the wah wah I don't really use, and I formally just use like I go straight to the amp already, and I use the foot switches in there because the amp has dedicated programmable effects and an overdrive as well. So I use that only, and then after that, I got my proper setup already when I like there was a sale in on an online store here in the Philippines. So like I bought this one, the Coco vintage. I mean no, the Coco tuner, the vintage overdrive, and the Coco phaser pedal, which I regret selling because it's a decent one for a cheap price. So yeah, I started like seriously using pedals when I was grade 8. So 1.5 year, a year and a half. This was my main distortion pedal, which I mean doesn't, especially if I use the bright channel of the amp right now, this sounds bad. So if I turn off the bright switch off, this sounds really godly. I mean nowadays what I do is I put it to the FX Reader and then use it as my preamp, like what most people do with their Boss Metal Zones, which I don't have. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, good heavy metal tones. It's a Mesa Boogie in a box. Personally, it sounds like one. I don't know. Depends on your opinions. So that's it. And then last is this one, the Tom's Line Chorus. This was also part of my. This is some of the first pedals that was with me, But those times I barely took pedals seriously, so I barely used them. This one was I wanted a chorus. I told my dad I wanted a chorus pedal because Nirvana uses chorus pedals, and I'm a huge like Kurt Cobain and his guitar playing is a huge influence to me. So yeah, I used it. I mean, at first it sounded good, but ends up like a year later when I started the pedal board already. I mean the pedal setup. I didn't have a pedal board back then. I mean this one is a DIY by the way. I mean, sound having a crackling sound as well. So disappointed. Although sentimentally, this pedal means a lot. This is where it started, along with the delay and the wah wah and the rat. Those were like my early pedals. Although I didn't use it, I didn't have a pedal setup back then. Oh yeah, continuation of the amp. This one is Line 6 LD150 bass amp. It's like, if you're familiar with the infamous Line 6 Spider amp, this one is the bass version. Although this one sounds good, it sounds decent. If you have a better bass, then it will sound good. That's it. Then this one is the Vox Pathfinder 10. It's a practice amp. I also bought it along with the classical guitar I showed in the previous video. I bought them together. And this one formerly is a 110 volt amp, but I converted it to 220 because 220 is the voltage here in the Philippines, while in Japan it's 110. So yeah, it needs a practice amp. But sometimes, I'll be honest, this one I prefer the cleans. But I mean, somehow cooperates with pedals well, accommodates with pedals well, but not too good. Not too good, but it does. It accommodates with pedals better than this in some fashion. It depends. So yeah, that's it. You might ask, why do I show off my stuff right now? Because first of all, why not? And the other thing is, I wanted to show you the stuff that I use for my videos. So yeah, and also the reason why I made this video is it's a late um it's a late 50 subscriber special video. I mean, it's been months since I had 50 subscribers, and as of now I have 52 only. I mean, it's not for me, it's a big thing. So thank you for all the for all the people who subscribe me, for the people who like and even dislike my videos. As I know, I only had one dislike ever, and also thank you for the people sharing my videos on Facebook. Sorry, by the way, for the messy environment, for the messy area right now. But yeah, thank you for, for the support. And also, thank you to my mother and father for, I mean, not all people in my age group. By the way, I'm 15. I mean, for my age group, this is too much, this is too overkill for a 16, sorry, 16-year-old kid setup. This is too overkill. Just even the guitars I'm using right now, even though my personal guitars are cheap, still, this is too much for me. Then, yeah, I'm just wanting to say thank you to everybody, especially my parents, for the support morally and materially, as I could say. Because, yeah, thank you and also thank you. I thank them, my parents, for giving me the time to make videos as well, because, you know, the other parents, they don't support it, and thank goodness my parents do support myself. Yeah. So goodbye and thank you for watching. I hope you got entertained. Bye.